محمد وآل محمد صلوات. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I'd like to welcome Sheikh Ali Rajani to this session. Inshallah, this session is a collaboration between the AYN and AFTAB, and it's part of our short courses program during the month of Ramadan. We'd also like to welcome all the participants we have here and also on Zoom. And today's topic is how to value our time. What is the value of time? The importance of having a schedule, and our biggest enemy, laziness. And Sheikh will be sharing some practical steps to ensure we stick to our schedule. Just a reminder that because there's 3 courses, not just one. So after this course will finish, there will be a quiz at the end, and this is just the first session. We will be having, in this course, we'll be having 2 more sessions, inshallah, in the coming days. You will be informed on the group, and we will be announcing as well. Inshallah, the next session is Tuesday at the same time. If you have any questions or queries, you can either raise your hand and Sheikh will answer, or please write it in the chat or message the admin on Zoom, and inshallah Sheikh will get to your questions, inshallah. You can start, please.
Is it working? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. My slideshow can't be seen over here. Mahdi, is the way that the slideshow here? Okay, so the participants online can see the slideshow and also can hear. If there's anything that's going wrong, please do send a message. The person to send a message to is either myself. Okay, so if you want to send it openly, please send it in the open chat, and then we'll read them from here. If you don't want to send them openly, you can send them privately to my own name. So, or do you want to send them to you? You can send them over here to Ali Rajani, not admin, even though it sounds like I'm speaking from admin. Send it to the Zoom participant Ali Rajani, and inshallah I'll read them out, and then I'll try and answer them, inshallah. Okay, so let's start our session today, inshallah, speaking about time, inshallah, as Brother Hussein also started us with. Okay. You just remind them for this. Okay. Okay, all the participants on Zoom can see my slideshow, inshallah. Just have a look if they can, then we get going, inshallah. Perfect. Okay. See, when it comes to the discussion that we want to speak about today, keeping time, right? We've heard a lot, we've listened to a lot, we've even, some of us, lectured about it. But yet, sometimes we see that we're not able to keep up. What's going wrong? What's the issue? This is what we want to speak about today. The first thing is points that maybe you've thought about before, but I want you please to think about them again. A lot of things, like I said, we may have heard, but we need to ponder upon, we need to think about. So the first point is, what is time? In essence, what is time? When we say humans, we want to manage our time, we want to be careful of our time, what does time really mean? See, in a quick example, time is our capital. Right? As humans, we can achieve different things, right? And we see the near achievements. Some people become rich, some people become famous, some people become very good at a certain sport or a skill. And how do they do that? The capital they use, the main capital, the main spending item that they use is time. That's why time means opportunity. And we can choose how we spend this time. So we have, if you can't see the slides, it's okay. I'll try and speak to you. You can look over here. Inshallah, they'll sort the slides out by soon, inshallah. Time means opportunity. Let's put this into an example. Imagine you had money, right? You had a certain amount of money, and you're told you have this money to spend it wherever you want. But the trick is that this money has no exchange and no refund. Once you spend it, it's finished. This is quite similar to what time is. See, all of us have time in our lives. And sometimes the time just looks like it's so much in front of us that you think, wow, everything's okay. Everything's under control, and we'll sort everything out. But not realizing that this time is actually going from our hands. And we're losing this time. And there's no exchange policy. There's no refund policy on this time. There's this one sentence that you'll see on the screen. Inshallah, if you can, I'll read it out to you. That has a story behind it. Once I got the chance to meet Ayatollah Jawadi Amudi. I don't know how many of you have heard of him. Have you guys heard of him? Yeah, so some people are nodding. He's one of probably the greatest mufassirin alive today, the greatest philosophers alive today, and he's also marja taqlid. So he's one of the great scholars. Like if you want to name the top 7, 8 scholars in the world, he'd definitely be in that list. Once, alhamdulillah, I got the chance to meet him. And I went forward and asked him a question. And I told him that, alhamdulillah, I'm studying, right? I'm studying religion and I'm benefiting from it and it's really good. But I want a chance to get more out of it. How do I maximize what I'm getting? And he said this sentence that's such a beautiful sentence that I thought I'd share it with you, on the condition that you appreciate it. For me, this sentence has a lot of value. It's a very precious sentence. He said that you can buy the most expensive jewels on earth with time, right? If you want the most expensive jewels on earth, you put time, you earn money, and you can buy the jewels, right? But you can't buy time with anything, even the most expensive jewels on the earth. It's a really beautiful thought, right? Right now, what are we looking for? We're looking for fame, money, all of these kind of things, which in its own place isn't bad. And the way to get it is we use our time. But now let's flip the equation. If we want this time back, whatever you give, you can't get this time back. Time is really precious. There's a beautiful hadith from our first Imam, Imam Ali, who says that it's again a very beautiful hadith. Again, understanding time. This is the last point on understanding time. We'll move on to the practical point. Imam Ali says, "Madi yawmika fa'it." See, right now, what's the time? It's over here. It's about 10 past, right? 10 past 10, right? He says the hours that you've been awake. I don't know what time you guys got up, but like, let's say you guys got up at 1 p.m., right? It's Mahr Ramadan, everyone sleeps in. So like 1 p.m., 2 p.m., everyone got up. From 2 p.m. until, although, mashallah, some of the guys over here, I'm sure the sisters as well, have been awake since Fajr namaz. So Fajr namaz until now, 10 p.m., that's a lot of time. Imam Ali says all of that time that's gone, that's gone. That's gone. That's not in your hands anymore. It's spent, right? It's the money that now is out of your hands. وَآتِهِ مُتَّهَمْ. And the rest of your day ahead of you, right? Until you sleep, how long? How long do we have until everyone sleeps? 8-9 hours before everyone goes to sleep. He says, muttaham, it's under question. You don't know if it's going to benefit you or not. We don't know what's going to happen from it. وَوَقْتُكَ مُغْتَنَمْ. And your time is precious. Imam is teaching us that your time is precious. فَبَادِرْ فِيهِ فُرْصَةُ الْإِمْكَانِ. Now this is a key that you see repeating again and again from the Ahlul Bayt, again and again. That in this time, take advantage of the opportunities. This is a key. And this is one of the main answers to the issues that we face in planning. The Imam says, take advantage of possible opportunities. And then the last part of the sentence is to be written on our walls. The Imam says, وَإِيَّاكَ أَن تَثِقَ بِالزَّمَانِ. Don't be the type that trusts time. Time isn't to be trusted. We say that, you know what, namaz, I'll pray. You go back to sleep, you wake up at sunrise. Time isn't to be trusted. You say that, my exams are coming up, I'll study. Exam day. I got a B, I got a C, I got a D, I could have got an A. Time is not to be trusted. You want to recite some nice dua, it's Mahi Ramadan, you feel like it. You get home, you're like, pela daku khao. And then you eat some daku, and then you're like, my stomach is heavy, let me go lie down a bit, and then you sleep, and then next thing you know, if you're lucky, it's Fajr namaz time. If you're unlucky, it's further than Fajr namaz time. You missed your chance. Imam's teaching us one key in planning: don't trust time. Time isn't a good friend. It's not loyal at all. So this is just to set the tone. Inshallah, we'll start. Subhanallah. Recite a salawat basi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Yeah, that's fine. They don't need to see me. Yeah, guys in the media team, I'm here. They don't need to see me there again. That's two me's. That's confusing. So the slides are good. Okay, let's go ahead. So we have to value this time. Look at this. This is a very beautiful dua. I'll just mention this one dua and then we'll go into the meaty stuff. This dua is a dua that we recite every year on the night of Qadr, dua Makarimul Akhlaq. There's one sentence in it that has a lot of relevance with our topic today, and I think it's a really beautiful sentence. It's one of those that it's good if we memorize these sentences and repeat them to ourselves. It's a really important reminder. Look what the Imam says. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa alihi. Dua Makarim al-Akhlaq has salawat at different stages of it. Wakfini ma yashghaluni al-ihtimamu bih. What does this mean? Keep me away from matters that paying attention to occupy me. There's certain matters that when I pay attention to these, when I spend time on these, they occupy me. What kind of matters can these be? It's good we have an audience you guys can suggest. For example, being on Instagram for 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day. I don't know. Now I'm scared to even give times. 11 hours a day, right? That's too much, right? 11 hours a day on Instagram. Okay, if you want to spend 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, 2 hours on a good page, you're doing the right things, that's fine. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's fine. Maybe you even learn from it, which is a good thing. Excellent. But then there's so much time being pulled into this. And we have a range of audience over here. It's not for our older people in the audience to say, look, the kids, they just spend time on Instagram. No, we have it. Every one of us has it. It can be Instagram, it can be other websites, it can be YouTube videos, it can be movies, it can be series, there are things in our life that want to occupy us. And the dua that we make, the first dua here that we make is that keep me away from these things. And we'll come to the explanation of all of these. The second one is really beautiful as well. وَاسْتَعْمِلْنِي بِمَا تَسْأَلُنِي غَدًا عَنْ. My goal is that the questions that I'm asked tomorrow, I can answer those. Allah, make me work for those. And this is only achievable by hard work, but this is the goal that we want, right? Even if we can't completely achieve this, even if we say, this is just, what does this mean? It's okay, let's try. Try a bit, right? We can do a bit. And the last one is, وَاسْتَفْرِغْ أَيَّامِي فِي مَا خَلَقْتَنِي لَهُ. Fill my days with those things that you've created me for. Now imagine if a person makes this the base of their time management, their day would just be out of this world. They'd have an amazing day. But it's tough, obviously. Let's get to the practical side. This is the idea we want to start with, and we want to build on this, inshallah. So the next question is, how can I take advantage of my time? Okay, fine. I understood it's important, really good. Nice dua. Tell me what I can practically do. What's to be done? Let's get our hands in. To speak about the first part is really nice and amazing to speak about it. But what can I do? Right? You tell, for example, somebody that, let's say volleyball, right? I don't like volleyball too much, by the way. Volleyball is an amazing sport. You get so much fun in it. You get exercise. You get to meet people, this, that, everything. You do a 2-hour lecture. I'm going to sleep. It doesn't work like that. Okay, tell me, what do I do? How do you play it? Where do I start? Tell me something, right? So we understand the importance, and I'm sure a lot of us understand the importance, but what can we practically do? This is what we want to spend some more time on, inshallah. The first point is planning your day. Again, it might seem obvious, but let's think about this. This is a really beautiful hadith as well. Isn't it interesting how much the Ahlul Bayt have given attention towards matters like time? Like you feel sometimes like, the Ahlul Bayt are here to teach us about fasting and praying and these things, and the rest, we'll go to different people. We have so many beautiful hadith about time and time management. It shows how important and crucial this is for our lives, at whatever age we may be. I'd read the Arabic out, but it'll take some time, so I'll just go through the English. Strive to split your time into 4 parts. The Imam is actually instructing us how to split our time. Aren't we all waiting to hear what the Imam says? MashaAllah, that sounds like a nice enthusiasm. The camera, I can't see how many people are nodding now. He says, 1, calling out to Allah. One important part of your day is calling out to Allah. A part where we connect with Allah. This should be a part of our day. Even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes, that's fine. It should be there in our day that we connect with Allah. How to do this? There's another lecture that we can speak about that. Those of us in Arusha, we heard a bit about it today. Those of us not in Arusha, inshallah, we can speak about it sometime. It's on the YouTube page. I think, can I make a joke? I think Arusha wants some subscribers on their YouTube page, so you guys can subscribe to the YouTube page. The second part is for your living. See, some religions are like, you just go in the mosque, the church, whatever, you just sit over there the whole day, ibadat, ibadat, ibadat. This is not the truth. What happens if you live like that? You'll be begging. That's not what Allah wants. That's why the Ahlul Bayt tell us that one part of your day should be for your living, either earning or if you're studying or whatever it is, it should be about your worldly matters. This is something necessary. Okay, there's a question here. It's come on everyone, so I'll let you read it. So Arusha is doing proper advertising now. It's on the Zoom chat. Subscribe. You're going to say the subscribe and like and that kind of stuff. Okay. For friends who help you to improve, one part of your day should be about this. Socializing. Is this an idealistic religion? No, this is a realistic religion. A part of your day, spend it with good friends. Have fun. This should be a part of your day. You should schedule fun. Your day shouldn't look like this, that I wake up, I have to work, eat or whatever, and then sleep. And then socializing somewhere in the middle. Throw it in. No, have a time of your day that's for socializing. The Imam is telling us this. And enjoyment, leisure. That's not haram. Wow, now this religion, this is the best religion. If you don't enjoy, you won't be able to do those. Honestly, could you believe that we have a hadith like this? And I've got in my notes 5 hadith that are saying the same concept from different Imams. This is what we have to do. So what's the practical? Okay. So the last few sentences I said were that the Imam saying split our day into 4 parts. If the last part, enjoyment, fun, that's not haram, is missed out on, you won't be able to do the other 3 properly. The Imam saying for you to be able to do the other 3 properly, you want to talk to Allah, go have fun. You want to earn well, go have fun. You want to socialize, go have fun. It's the truth. You have to have a part of your day for it. What's the saying? I do want to say it. What is it? All work and play. What's that? Yeah, that one basically. It's the true saying, right? All work and no play makes Jack a Dumbo, a dull boy. Right? That's what happens. It's a reality. The Imam said it much before any of these guys said it. Okay, let's go ahead. This is a really important point as well. Why should I plan? Because your schedule is a small image of your whole life. Now let's go through a saying over here. This is a really nice saying. I searched a lot. Mashallah. That's me up there. I knew the saying will come up very soon, inshallah. Okay, yeah, it's half there now. The saying says this, that I searched for the saying in English. It seems it's not too common in English. It's a Farsi saying that, although it's there online, you may know by a handful the whole sack. What does this mean? That when you want to go and buy rice, right? 10 kilos of rice, 20 kilos of rice, you take one handful, you smell it, taste it, whatever you do. I don't know how you buy rice. And you make a decision. Do you go and check the whole bag till the end? You say, no, they're all the same. You go to a fruit seller, they tell you my tikiti maji is very sweet, my watermelon is very sweet. They give you a slice, you buy the whole thing, right? And this is the reality of our day. If you want to see a person, whether they're going to be successful or not, take one day of their life and analyze that one day. This is our problem, right? For example, let's say you have, I'll give a few examples. They may relate to different people. One example is a general one. I think most of us have been through. Or even better, you have a thesis. You have a 30,000 word thesis to write, okay? And they tell you you have 1 year to write this thesis. 30,000 words, 1 year. You know, you calculate 360, 30,000, how much does that stay? 100 words a day. You're like, 100 words a day? That's like 2 paragraphs. And then the whole of 6 months of the year goes and you haven't written anything. And then you're like, 200 words a day, because it's half, right? 200 words a day, that's nothing. Another 3 months goes, it becomes 400 words a day. Another 1.5 months goes, it becomes 800 words a day. Another 3/4 of a month goes, it becomes 1,600 words a day. And then you wake up. And now you have to write 1,600 words every day to be able to hand in your thesis. And you kill yourself and you drink coffee the whole night and everything messes up in your life and you get a D at the end as well. Why? I hope D is a weak grade. Yeah? Should I say U? You get a U at the end. You fail. You aren't able to write it. I don't know. You die. Right? It messes up. Why? Because you didn't pay attention to this person. You should have paid attention to him. Keep the, if you guys are listening, just keep the PowerPoint on. They can see me over here, so there's no need for the, for the Zoom. Okay. What if I put on my webcam over here? Would that work? Does it? Okay. I thought it's for you guys. I was surprised. What happened over here? That you push things on. You didn't pay attention to the law that if you want to achieve something, every day has to show it. Right? You can't expect that. It's like, another example is cricket, right? I don't know how many of you watch or follow cricket. When you're following cricket, right, you know, they show you the runs per over. What's it called? Run rate. Run rate? No, the one that you have to chase. How many balls and how many, basically how many balls left you have and what score you have to achieve, right? So at one point you're like, 100 balls, 100 runs, perfect, we can do it. You play easy, you play easy, you play easy. A little while later, now 80 balls, still 100 runs. You play easy, easy, easy. You've got 10 more runs. You're now 60 balls and 90 runs, and then you panic. Well, from the start, you'd have slowly shown it. It's the same thing with anything in our life. If we really want to achieve something, we have to have it daily. Okay? If we really want to, for example, learn to read the Quran well, if you set 3 months, if you set 6 months, it has to show itself every day in your timetable, or every other day, or every third day. If you really want to, for example, have a good program in which you're spending time, for example, with your children every day, those of you who have children, you have to slot it. If you don't slot it and just hope that, wow, we'll sort it out on Sundays and this and that, it's never going to happen. If you want to achieve something, it has to show itself again and again and again. You can't expect that you achieve something without scheduling it. What's the key I'm trying to put across here? If you don't put something down on paper and schedule it, you're not going to achieve it. That's the reality. Yeah, sure. I'm just going to switch on my webcam over here so that, inshallah, I can be seen. Just see if the quality is okay. Is the view okay like this? Yeah, it's okay? Okay. In good mood today, what does that mean? We should be in good mood every day, inshallah. Somebody commented, Sheikh is in good mood today. Tell them we should be in good mood every day, inshallah. See, now the problem is this. The problem is that we do all... the PowerPoint, yeah, okay. We do all of these things, right? We wake up, we eat some food. I don't know what that guy's doing up there. We get on a car, we sit at work, we relax, watch TV, we go to sleep, we cook food, all of this stuff we do, right? Or we plan to do. And then we see at the end of every week, some of them happen, some of them didn't, some of them took too much time, some of them took too little time. Everything's messing up, things are going all over the place. It's not working out. Why? The reality is we have a lot to do. We have to schedule it. It has to have a set time. If we don't put a set time for what we want to achieve, we won't achieve it. There's no secret in this. There's the reality. We need to sit and create a schedule. A person who doesn't have a schedule can't achieve. It's an honest truth. There's no hiding this fact. A person who doesn't have a schedule for themselves, look, this time to this time I want to do this, this time to this time I want to do this. If you don't, you just want to do all of this work somewhere in the day, you know what will happen? Either you'll sleep less, you won't spend time with your family, you'll hurt other people's feelings, you won't be able to study properly, you won't work properly, you won't do your community response. Something's going to mess up. Why? Because, for example, the suitable amount of time to spend with your friends today is 1 hour. But you don't know that. You haven't slotted it. You don't have any schedule for it. You go and spend 4 hours with your friends. And then what happens? You've got to wake up early tomorrow for school. What happens? You sleep less. School, what happens? You aren't able to study properly. What happens because of that? You miss out on class. Now you have to take extra notes from your friend. Now extra notes you haven't understood, you have to call them and ask them what these extra notes mean. And it just goes on and on and on until you crash. And then you reset and we crash again. And then we reset and then we crash again. What's this all about? Right? I mean, this doesn't make sense. We have to schedule it in. That's why the key to be able to achieve anything is to schedule it. We need time for work and study. We need time for increasing our knowledge, right? We need to have Islamic knowledge. In the end, we believe that Islam is our guide. We have to study Islam. If I live 30, 40, 50, 60 years and I don't know about my religion, then what have I achieved in my life? Where have I got to? I've filled my stomach. Okay, and? That's it? That's what I wanted to do in life? No. When I went back, rewind 30 years, I wanted to do lots, but I didn't manage. Why? It wasn't scheduled. You have to schedule time for work, time for increasing knowledge. What else? Time for prayers and ibadat, right? You say that a person, sometimes a week, 10 days, 1 month, they haven't opened the Quran. Why? I'm so busy, I don't have time. Okay, really, you're busy? Show me your schedule. I don't have a schedule. Then what does busy mean when you don't have a schedule? It means that you're probably eating, for example, half an hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, you're just sitting and talking and then you didn't put time 10 minutes to recite the Quran. Is that bad management or is that I'm busy? Right now, if I ask everyone in the room, I'm sure, unless somebody wants to make a joke out of it, I'm sure every one of us will say we're busy. Even if you look at me, for example, there's a 9-year-old boy. There's no 9-year-old boys here, alhamdulillah. He's like, I'm really busy. Like, you busy? What does that even mean? And then he pulls out his phone and he starts playing on his phone. Yeah, he's busy in that. Everyone's busy. It's not a skill to say I'm busy. We find it like I'm really busy. That's not skillful. It's skillful to be productive, not busy. Productive is good. Busy, it doesn't have any meaning to it. It's not useful in itself. Time for prayers and ibadah. We need this time. Put 10 minutes for Quran every day. It won't be hard. You know how many 10 minutes we waste in a day? Should I start listing them? 10 minutes you waste, for example, you've eaten lunch, you've gone into your room to, let's say, rest a little bit. 5 minutes later, you're back in the kitchen looking at the fridge like this. Open the fridge, switch on there. You close the fridge, you walk. This happens to all of us. Right? You come back again 5 minutes later. It's the same fridge. It's not changed. Nobody's opened the fridge. You come and look again. You close it, you go again. You still come again, hoping that something's popped up. This is wasting time, right? Was this useful? Did this help you in any way in your life? Let's say you even found, for example, some cookies and you've eaten a nice full lunch and now you're eating these cookies as well. Is that going to help you in your life? It's going to hurt you, right? You're wasting your time. Or for example, now one of the biggest ones is social media, obviously. You find somebody, the average screen time right now in countries like the US is above 3 hours a day. I'm talking about social media screen time. Like, for example, work and stuff separate. Because COVID, obviously, a lot of people worked online. Should I put the camera off here? Please recite the salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil faraj. Right? These are time wasters. Right? You're, for example, in bed, everything's good, you're going to go to sleep, suddenly you take out your phone. Why take out your phone just now? And sometimes, I don't know how you guys' social media is, but for example, I only use WhatsApp as such. Sometimes my messages are finished. I don't have new messages. So why are you going on your phone? Your messages are finished now. There's nothing to do on your phone. Instagram tends to go on, right? Even if you finish your feed, you can go to explore. TikTok, you just go Reels, whatever, you just get lost. But a person, why are you on your phone just now? Right? There's no purpose, but we still do it. This has become our ways. If you don't schedule things, the problem is you tell this guy, why on your phone? I'm really busy. What does that mean? What are you supposed to be doing just now? What do you mean, what am I supposed to be doing just now? Does that even have meaning? What am I supposed to be doing just now? I do what I want to do. Yeah, okay, you're not going to be successful in life. If you're going to be successful, you should know what this time is for what, this time is for what, this time. You should have a plan. This time is for this. Everything has its own place and time. Time for other things. Nutrition means eating, which we're very good at. Exercise, which we're not so good at. Sleeping, we're very good at. Socializing differs person to person. Cleanliness, I'm not commenting. Family time, we tend to be good at. No, not so much. Community and Islamic tabligh work, which we're generally not too good at. And leisure. These are all the things we want to do. Really, honestly, we want to do all of these things pretty much on a daily basis without a schedule. Really, is that something practical? Of course it's not. And we're like, no, I'll wake up early and then my day will be okay. Okay, if you wake up early and you waste an hour in the morning, you better have slept. If it was better, you would have slept. Better you sleep in. Guy, it's like you tried so much, you woke up, mashallah, after Fajr namaz today, I'm awake. Hi, now what do I do? Okay, I have nothing to do. Pull out my phone. What's the point of that? Or sometimes, you make we'll come to the other points, but let's leave that for now. The point right now is we have to have a schedule. I hope that's come across with all the repetition that I've done. So this is one point that we really want to put across when you come to the Ahlul Bayt about valuing time in a timeless society. Point number one, practical tip number one, we need to have a timetable. We need to have a schedule. Look, it doesn't have to be the most precise timetable in the world, like 9:37 and 26 seconds, I'm going to start tying my shoelaces. And then, no, it's not like that, obviously. But at least roughly you know what you're doing. In a day, slot these 10 things. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 things. You need to slot them in somewhere, right? You need to have some sort of plan for them. They're not going to happen on their own. Then your mom gets angry at you that, why haven't you come home though? Mom, I'm really busy. But you're like off school. How are you busy? You have holidays. How are you? I'm really busy. Because what? A person doesn't have a schedule. A lot of people that claim to be busy, it's because they don't have a schedule. Although there are other people that have a schedule and are busy as well. Point number two, avoid laziness. I just have 2 points. One was schedule, one is laziness, and then some practical points about how to make a schedule. Just 2 points. One was make a schedule, 2, avoid laziness. These are, we have in our hadith very, very much. The hadith for this has so many, I didn't get time to translate them, so I'll translate them over here. The reality is, if you want to achieve, you have to push yourself. And this is the key everywhere in life. And strangely, we push ourselves in a lot of things, right? Alhamdulillah, you guys attended over here. I know it's probably tough. The people online, how many do we have? Like 30? 50 people, right? You're all taking out time, inshallah, if you are attentively on Zoom. They're online, right? Right? You took out time and you put time aside. This is a good thing, right? To put time aside. But anything you want to achieve, you have to push yourself. You have to do this. You have to put time aside. Somebody says, for example, it's my dream to become a professional movie maker. I want to, make movies. I want to direct movies, right? And then you ask them, okay, wow, that's a really nice goal. What are you going to do to achieve it? What do you mean, what am I going to do to achieve it? I'll just learn it. Does this person sound serious? I'm going to become a professional football player, but you don't know how to kick the ball. But I'll do it. If you don't put work into it, you're not going to do it. Honest with yourself. The same thing, if we want to achieve, this whole presentation and everything we're going to speak about is for people, myself first, that if we want to achieve. If we don't want to achieve, everything we're saying is all not going to help anyone. If we want to achieve, if we want to get somewhere, then we can. What's step number one? Avoid laziness. Right? Somebody, they see that, for example, around them, there's a few people that are going to the gym. They're like, I want to go to the gym as well. Then you're like, oh, that's nice. You see them after a few days, 3-4 days later, you're like, okay, did you go to the gym? I really want to go. Okay, mashallah. A week later, you see them, you know how much I want to go to the gym? I'll just do anything to go to the gym. A month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, no movement. This person is lazy. They're not going to be able to achieve anything. That's why we have a beautiful hadith from our sixth Imam who says, Aduwul amal al-kasal. The enemy of acting is laziness. This is really an interesting point. We should think about it some more. Laziness is the hole that we fall into that doesn't allow us to achieve. You've set a schedule now, right? And the schedule says, now is time for us to read. And then you're like, I'll do it, it's okay. And then you put it aside, and then half an hour is gone. And you're like, oh, I put 40 minutes, half an hour is gone, 10 minutes, I better just go to the toilet. I need to go to the toilet. And then you've missed your time. What happened over here? You planned. Good. You did the first step. Laziness. And laziness isn't something like, we feel laziness is like just something that's natural. No, we choose to be lazy. Look, there's a certain extent that a person is tired physically. Fine, work around that. Take care of your nutrition. Make sure your schedule is balanced. All of that's good. No problem. But sometimes it's not physically a problem. If somebody right now, they're sitting over here, they're like, you say, I'm feeling tired to do something. And they've started reading just now. I'm tired. And then somebody comes up and says, let's go play football. Poof, 1 minute is gone up and gone. That's not body now, right? Or somebody says, for example, you don't know this movie is going on. For example, nowadays movies don't go on. The premiere. Let's say there's a premiere on YouTube happening just now. And they're like, quickly they go and set it up. Their internet is finished. They go run to the shop, buy Salio, put internet, everything they sort. What happened? You're just saying you're lazy and you don't have strength. What happened? It means the problem is up here. It's not here. It's not with ourselves. It's me is the problem, not other factors. Often we throw it on, I was too tired, I had a hard day. Why did, you plan to come to the mosque every day this week. Why? I'm not seeing you in the mosque. I'm having late nights and then sometimes it's true. Okay, work around it. A lot of the times it's not true. It's excuses because we're lazy. That's why the enemy, the Imam uses a strong word, the enemy of acting is laziness. What do you do to an enemy? You get rid of it. Or this is a really beautiful hadith. عليك بإدمان العمل في النشاط والكسل. It rhymes as well. It's really beautiful from our first Imam. He says that continue your action and continue your schedule when you're excited to do it, and when it's difficult to do it. Often when we set a schedule, when it comes to the fun parts, we're doing it really well. When it comes to the tough parts, we fail. The Imam is saying, no, throughout continue. Don't fall down, come back up, fall down, throughout. Obviously, as humans, we are going to have rough patches. It's unnatural for us to think, we'll come to the practical points. It's unnatural for somebody to think that my schedule score is going to be 100% for the rest of my life. That's unnatural. We're going to have tough patches. But it shouldn't be the case that it's in my hands. I can fix it, but I don't. I should try my best. I should strive. Don't let laziness come in. This is really beautiful. So, كن ممن لا يفرط به عنف ولا يقعد به ضعف. The Imam is saying, don't be the kind of person that when it's difficult, or it's a time that you want to do something, you overdo it, right? It's the time to play football, that time of your schedule has come. It's the time to eat lunch, it's the time to eat dinner, it's the time to go to sleep. You do that, you overdo that. And then when it's a tough time, you underdo it. Don't be this kind of person. Be balanced throughout. Set a schedule and follow it carefully. Obviously, as I said, 100% success isn't going to happen. What is the best way to overcome laziness? We'll speak about this a bit. There's one more slide about laziness, and then we go into the practical points. The Imam says one of the causes, so it's excellent, it's exactly the answer to the question. One of the causes of laziness is procrastination. من التواني يتولد الكسل. It's exactly the translation of this hadith. Why? At the first stage, you're not lazy yet. Lazy, you feel this heaviness. You just procrastinate. You can go, for example, let's say you've slotted at this time of the day that you're going to pray namaz, right? You want to pray on time. You just heard at the mosque, adhan, okay, no problem. You don't have time to go to the mosque. You can spread your musalla and pray at home. It's 12:33, what's the time, whatever. And you want to pray. And then you're not lazy. You're just like, a few minutes here and they won't do anything. Okay, I haven't done wudu yet. Let me go do wudu. You finish wudu and then, for example, you have some messages to check. Usually, the examples are all going to be on the phone, sadly. You have some messages to check. You check those messages and then you see that 20 minutes has passed and you haven't prayed. Now, if this repeats, the Imam is telling us that it becomes a trait within us. We become lazy. So what's the way to overcome it? When it's time to do something, do it. How? When it's time to do something fun, we do it with so much fervor. When it's time to do something important, we do it so well. When it's time to do something that's important like this, we should do it as well. In fact, there's a hadith that says Allah doesn't like laziness in anything at all. Laziness should be wiped out of our life. We shouldn't be lazy people. Even the time that we rest should be planned. We know what we're doing. Even if we're going out for a trip, even if it's a week, even if it's 10 days, plan it, it's fine. That's not called laziness. Laziness is when you have to do something, you put it aside and you just become a couch potato. That's laziness. Look at this beautiful hadith. The fifth Imam says, Inni la ubghidu rajul aw ubghidu lirrajul. I hate the person or I hate for the person. An yakuna kaslanan. I hate for a person, the Imam is telling me and you. It's not a joke, right? The Imam is speaking to me and you. I hate, he's telling me, I hate for you to be lazy. An amri dunya, about your worldly living. About your job, I don't want you to be lazy. I hate it. I hate it, the Imam is saying, when you plan to go to 7 at work and you go at 7:30. That's a bad thing. When you plan to, for example, meet somebody at 8 and you go at 8:15. Allah hates this. This is laziness. Of course, if you have a valid excuse, that's a separate story. You have a valid excuse, no problem. Valid excuses come up 10% of the time, 5% of the time, not 95% of the time. The day this guy comes early into the meeting, everyone's like, oh, where did you come from? You know what happened? Did you read the time wrong or something? You know, it's like that, right? And then the Imam says this very beautiful thing. وَمَنْ كَسِلَ عَنْ أَمْرِ دُنْيَاهِ. The person who's lazy about his own work in this world, فَهُوَ عَنْ أَمْرِ آخِرَتِهِ أَكْسَلْ. He'll be more lazy about his akhirat. If you're lazy about this world work, you're lazy about it, and your akhirat, you're going to be more lazy. The solution to laziness is push yourself. Laziness is a decision. People who are not lazy are people who decide not to be lazy. That's the reality. Look, if you have a weakness in your body, you have to sort that. If your schedule is not sorted well, you have to sort that. All of these are separate issues. But you see, I've slept 8 hours. I've eaten well. I've, for example, spent time with my friends. But yet, I can't do this. I'm just lazy to do this work. Here is where we have to remember Imam Ali's hadith. He says, be one style. Don't, when it's fun for you, you do too much. When it's difficult, you do too little. Don't be like that. Pull through. If you set an hour for football, at the end of the hour, you're like, okay, just one more game. And then 15 minutes more. One more, last one. 15 minutes more. One more. By the third time, you stop even saying one more. You just play for 2 more hours. Right? That's how it usually works. Right? This is a problem. This is a laziness. I heard a reference to something that was done a few days ago. This is an incorrect reference, I think. Anyway, I wish the participants over here could be participating here as well. Anyway, Malim has a fair point and he's correct. And this is the solution, the final solution to laziness. Man ya'mal, so beautiful. Look at how the Imams have guided us. Everything that we need in our life. Man ya'mal yazdad quwwatan. Start, you'll feel strength. It's tough right now, right? Start it. Do it. It's okay. That much do, Allah will give you support. You'll feel strength. Right now is your time for reading, right? Usually this is the time that we really don't like. You know, you're like, you've set 9 o'clock at night for your reading. From 8 in the morning, you're like, oh no, I'm 1 hour closer to 9. 9 o'clock, 1 hour closer. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. 9 o'clock, you're looking for some excuse to put it aside, or not even excuse, you just want to forget it. And the problem is, because you've written it, you can't forget it. So you want to act like you forget it, but then that's cheating yourself. And you're in this big dilemma, right? Imam says, start it. Do it. Go for it. And you see that the strength comes in. It's the same for a lot of the mustahab things that we want to do. We find it so difficult to read 1 page of Quran a day. 1 page of Quran. Why is it so difficult for us? Imam says, do it. Sit down and do it. You see the strength. In a week, you want to recite 1 page and 1 line. The next week you recite one page. Even, no problem, don't even increase. Just continue this one page. This is success in itself. So avoid laziness is finished now. We're moving on to the next section. If there are any questions in this section, let's answer these, and then we'll speak about the practical tips at the end. Is there anything over here? So in the chat, please send them to myself or in the main group. Oh, there's something in the middle here.
Sorry, there was something you mentioned right in the beginning.
Yes.
I think it was part of one of the du'as you mentioned, where it says, please occupy me with those things you will question me about. What are those things? Is this anything other than what is wajib and what is haram?
Ahsan. So it's a really good question. In fact, I should have opened it up more. Thanks for reminding. See, in reality, when you look at the hadith that tell us to work, that tell us to have fun, that tell us to meet other people, that tell us to call out to Allah, all of these hadith are there. All of these are different things that Allah wants from us. Allah, do you know, this is a strange hadith, maybe you haven't heard it. Somebody came to the Imam and told the Imam asked them, right, imagine, this is the Imam, right? The Imam asked them, when you meet up, do you joke around with each other? You know, this is the type of question that you don't know what to answer, right? If I say yes, Imam might say that you shouldn't. And if I say no, then Imam might say I should. So he says, little bit, he's a smart guy. He says, we joke around a little bit. He says, don't do that. Joke around a lot with each other. Allah loves the person. In Allah, la yuhibbul muda'ib fil jama'ah. Allah loves the person who creates, who was saying, energy in a crowd, bila rafath. The condition is there. Without getting into stuff that's haram. Allah loves that. And if Allah loves that, that's something that religion wants from us. So now, to be fun and to be engaging and to be exciting is a good thing. It's something that not only, you know, you think, okay, it's like one of the things that's acceptable. It's mubah. No, it's mustahab. It's a good thing to do. Allah will ask you the same way the Imam asked the companion, why were you so like, you know, modu charayalu the whole time? Why were you so like, you know, to yourself, frowning at everyone? Joke with people. This is what we want. So all of this, eating well, sleeping well, these are all things that Allah wants from us. These are things that we will be asked about in the hereafter. The last hadith was from Imam Ali as well. There's another question here. Should we move on? Practical tips. We're near the end. The time is finishing. There's only 2 more slides. And I have 5 practical tips that I want to say. And we finish over there. Number 1, what do you think this practical tip is trying to tell us about using our time? Learn to take good photos. Be creative. Anything? Waking up early is a good try. Be realistic. If you plan to carry the sun, you're not going to be able to do it. What's going to happen is a lie, right? The guy's standing over here. I plan to carry the sun. You get a photo, it looks really nice. What's the reality? Of course, he's not going to be able to carry the sun. When we sit and make our schedule, okay, we say that, okay, Sheikh said that we have to slot all of these things in our day. Okay, no problem. Quran, 1.5 hours every day. Namaz, 4 hours every day. Eating, I don't need to eat. I'm going extreme, obviously. Nobody's going to do this. Sleeping, 3 hours is good. You know, some of these big alims, they used to sleep 3 hours a day. This is not practical. And that's an extreme example. Let's make it realistic. Even for us to suggest that we're going to recite half an hour of Quran a day, for a lot of us, that's going to be difficult. In Mahi Ramadan, inshallah, we can manage. Outside of Mahi Ramadan, it's going to be difficult. Plan for 10 minutes, plan for 15 minutes. You know, it's always nice to taste success and keep going. It's not nice to fail. It's not nice in a schedule if you plan half an hour and then you only do 20 minutes, you feel sad. But if you plan 10 minutes and you do 10 minutes every day, you feel happy. You feel like you've made it. Plan realistically. Socializing, I'll only socialize for 5 minutes. I'll go with my friends, Salam alaikum, how are you doing, how's everything? Kudafis. It's not realistic. You can't do that, right? Socialize realistically. 1 hour, 25, half an hour, whatever. Everyone knows their own limits. Work. I'm going to, now because Sheikh said we want to work for the akhirat, from now on I'm only going to spend 3 hours of my day at work. It's not practical. You need, an average person works at least 9 to 5, 8 to 5, right? You need 9, 10 hours at the office every day. Wherever, office, home, wherever we're working, everyone has something that occupies a good part of their life. With mothers, it's taking care of children. That's, I'm scared to say more important, at least we can say it's equally important as working, right? Everyone has their own responsibility. And Allah is going to ask us about that responsibility, the work that we had to do. If a person is married, they don't have children, they have time, they have responsibilities to do other stuff. If a person has the ability to work, they should be working. Everyone has this good chunk of their day that goes into this. Be realistic about it. If you know that your demands at your work is to put 9 hours, don't write 7 hours in your schedule. If you know that you can, for example, only spend half an hour with your children every day if you have children, plan for half an hour and then move forward. But be realistic. This is a big issue when it comes to timetabling. Right now, I hope you guys all go home, if you haven't done already, and start jotting down a timetable. The first thing that comes to mind, because it's on paper, it looks really nice. Especially when you see sleep, 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 sleep. You're like, I can take 2 of these out. They're not important. And then you see eat, eat, eat. You say, no, one of these can go as well. It's like nice. On paper, it's really easy. Then it comes to sleep time and you're sleepy and now you have to wake up because your schedule says so. And now at work, 9 hours of the day, because of 1 hour of missed sleep, 9 hours of the day will waste because you'll be like this the whole time at work. You'll be falling asleep. It's not a smart type of planning. Realistic planning. It's really important that we are realistic. How can we make sure we're realistic? Consultation. Take this timetable to people who are good at planning their day. Ask them, does this make sense? Is this realistic? Does it make sense for me to eat this many times a day, sleep this much a day? Does it make sense or not? Let's jump back to our Farsi example, that what may lie in a sack, or that one basically, the rice one. The handful basically is what's in the sack, right? They try and make these fancy words. The handful is what the sack has, right? Who should I go to for consultation? What do you want to achieve? Whatever you want to achieve, pick a person who's achieved that and ask them to look through your timetable. You want to achieve different things, go to different people. I want to be good in my Islamic life. I want to do all my responsibilities. Obviously, you're going to have to go to somebody that understands your Islamic responsibilities. I want to be good at work, but I only want to put 6 hours. You ask anyone, they'll tell you that's impractical. You're not going to manage that. I want to eat, for example, let's say a good amount of food. I want to put 20 minutes a day for eating. You have to ask somebody who's familiar with that. Right? Sleeping, how much should we sleep a day? We have to ask the right people. And in the end, whoever we ask will form that one handful. That one handful is the same as the whole bag. Basically, if you want to see where a person, this is a really good point. If you really want to see where a person's heading, if you look at their weekly schedule, you'll find out what they're going to achieve. You can even see, if they're going to follow this, you can even see where they're going to be in the next 10 years. Because this shows it. How much time are they putting for work? It'll show. How much time are they putting for community? It'll show. How much time are they putting for Islamic studies? It'll show. 10 years down the line, one says to the other, wow, you've read so many Islamic books. When did you do them? I was with you the whole time. They said, I put half an hour a week. I put half an hour a week over 10 years. That's a lot of time. 30 times 52, that's 26 hours, right? In a year, you have 52 weeks. So 26 hours in a year, right? Times by 10, 260 hours. You can do lots in 260, that's 10 days, more than 10 days, 11 days, and more than that, ongoing. That's a lot of reading. And it's spread nicely so you don't get tired. And then they're looking at each other, they're like, what happened over here? What your life you want it to look like, your schedule will show it. So consult with the people that you think are successful. Be strict but flexible. This is a key point, and a lot of us mess up at this stage. It's a really important balance between strictness and flexibility. You see the two extremes. Let me draw the two extremes. One person, they have a schedule, they're not lazy. It's just, for example, they've said that they'll socialize for 1 hour, but their friend really wants to speak to them. Okay, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours extra is gone because of this friend. And the friend wanted help, they wanted to speak about something. One person just lets their timetable just flow and get messed up because of necessities and things that they think are necessities. The other person, the friend's like, let's speak some more, I've come from my town. Sorry, 3 o'clock is my reading time. Khudafiz. Neither of these are right? Both are wrong. What's the right way to do it? First of all, plan practically. If you know your friend has come from a certain city and you're going to see them, don't plan half an hour to meet them, please. It's not practical. Plan a good amount of time. Once you've planned that amount of time, keep a slight buffer. Say that, okay, this person, I thought we'd spend an hour and a half. No problem. Half an hour I can take from somewhere else in my schedule, move things around and fix it up. Today, it's fine. I'll sleep half an hour less. If you sleep half an hour less once in a week, it won't affect you too much. But if you sleep 2 hours less every day in the week, it will affect you. No problem. Take it from somewhere. Move things around. No problem. Even to the extent I had planned to go to namaz jamaat every day. This is such an important time. My friend has come from another city. I'm not going to meet them for a year. One time in a week, I'm going to miss namaz jamaat. That's fine. Flexible. You know you're in control. You're the driver, right? Sometimes the driver's on the highway. What's the rule on the highway? Go straight, right? You stay in the lines. Sometimes there's a cat. Does it mean you swerve off the highway and go into the mountain? Of course not. Does it mean you drive over the cat? No. You swerve a little bit, move out of the way of the cat, come back. You're in control. Your timetable, you have to be in control. You know where the cat is, you know where the mountain is on your timetable. You know what's next in your timetable, you know what's important. We have to learn this. This takes practice. And the more we work at it, the better we'll get at it. You learn that, okay, I can move this there. And you see some people that are really good, they do it so fast that you don't even see them doing it. I know somebody like this, for example, that's really good at his time management, mashallah. Maybe you guys know him as well, I can tell you later. Lots of kids, mashallah, like many kids, very busy at work, a lot of religious activities in the mosque and the center, and he's managing. And sometimes you pop up on him, I need this work done, he'll do it for you at 3 a.m. in the morning. How? Control. The person knows that, look, I sleep at 9, I spend time with my kids every day. One day in the week, if I sleep an hour earlier, I'll even spend more time with my kids the next day. I can sort things out, I wake up at 3 and sort things out. But that's tough. That takes a lot of practice. The key is to learn this. The way to learn it, it's a skill, right? You have to practice it. You make a schedule the first time, you see it's not too practical. Consult with somebody, that becomes slightly more practical. When you're following your schedule, you see that one time you're too strict, you hurt another person's feelings. Or for example, you messed up. You know, for example, your study time was an hour, you said, no, I have to stop. Tomorrow the question came from the part, that was the next part. And you couldn't answer it. That you messed up, right? We have to learn this flexibility. It's a skill. But this is important. Discipline allows us to achieve our goals. Now, discipline, understand it the way I tried to explain it, right? Discipline doesn't mean, there's some people really, they're rude in their timetable, management. They tell somebody, come to my house at 10 o'clock. Okay, the guy arrives at 10:01, they're like, sorry, I'm busy now. What about 1 minute? What were we planning to do in this 1 minute? Don't be like that, right? On yourself, even don't be so hard. With other people, don't be hard at all like this. On yourself, don't be so hard like this. That's not practical. We're not going to achieve our goal like this. If you want to be a robot, robots are like that, yeah. You set a laptop to, for example, restart at 11:59, and then, for example, you come at 12 o'clock. I'm 1 minute late. Why didn't you understand? You should have held your restart back. Of course, it's a laptop. That's what it's going to do. It's a computer. But we aren't, right? We're humans. The last 2 points. Okay, so let me just, these are 3 points under this. Don't go against your timetable, right? Don't sacrifice your timetable. 2, settings on the computer. 2, have a flexible timetable. This means that, look, if you want to slot it very 10:35 to 10:42, this is not practical. Say that, look, I have time, my slots are like this, 8 to 12, for example, I'm free. In 8 to 12, I have 2 2-hour tasks. One 2-hour task is breakfast, dressing up, whatever. One 2-hour task is studying. And then, for example, you wake up and let's say, for example, suddenly you find out you have guests at 10. No problem, switch them around. You can have breakfast with your guests, right? Study earlier, switch things around. A timetable should be flexible. Like I said, the more we work on this, the better we'll get at this. It's practice, right? Anything that's a skill, we need to practice it. Right now, it might seem not too practical. And have extra spots. This is a really important thing. In a timetable, so for example, here it would be your Saturday. Saturday is like a half working day, right? So your Saturday afternoons usually, this is mainly for working people. People who aren't working, they can find their own times in the day that they feel that this is like a cover-up time. For example, Saturday afternoons is time for all the work that pops up. There's work that pops up, right? Suddenly everything's going nice in the week. Your dad tells you, for example, you need to go to this office and pick up this thing. And you're like, but dad, it's not on my schedule. It doesn't work like that. He's your dad. He's allowed to do that, right? Tell him, okay, does it matter if I move it to this day of the week? He says, no, I need it today. No problem, switch. right? You had something to do just now, switch the two. It's tough, this is tough. But if we practice it, we'll get it. Leave buffer times, leave 2-3 hours a week where you haven't put too much over there. Okay, put an optional thing. For example, let's say, I don't know, whatever you want to practice. Let's say a person wants to learn juggling, put it at that time. But if you don't get to learn juggling, you haven't lost out on life too much, I think. I don't know how to juggle. People who know how to juggle, would you lose out on life if you don't know how to juggle? None of us know how to juggle. Okay. Unless you work in a circus. Anyway, learn to juggle our timetable. That's what's important, right? Move things around, juggle things, that's what's important. Last slide. And how much time do I have? Oh, 2 minutes over. Okay, let's go with it. 1, monitor your progress. Number 4, I'm saying 1. Number 4, monitor your progress. A person set a timetable and they started living life and going on and on and on and on. And 2 years later, they say, but Maulana, you said just live life. You said time, keep a schedule. What happened? I kept a schedule. Nothing. You have to find out. It's like a person who starts a business. They're like, the business was supposed to be really, really profitable. And then, okay, so let's start the business. 1 year later, hey, why did I have so much losses? Of course, the first week, the first 10 days, the first half month, quarter, you have to have an evaluation, right? You have to assess. The same in timetable. Assess after 1 week of setting your timetable. Am I achieving? Am I not? If I'm not achieving, is it because I'm lazy? The 2 points. Is it my timetable has a problem, or is it me I have a problem? If my timetable has a problem, fix it. If I have a problem, fix it. Right? Review. This is really important. Really, really important. And the last point I'm going to make, be around people who strive and do hard work. If you're around these kind of people, yourself, you'll get energy from it. If the whole day you're around people that, just sleep the whole day and lie down the whole day, you'll also feel like that. Be around people, and you can choose. You can't choose your parents and your siblings, that's fine. The rest of the day, in your workplace, if there's seating arrangements, try and be around those people that are productive. They'll progress in their world, inshallah. If you guide them further, you'll progress in your world and your hereafter, inshallah. It needs this positive energy about you. It needs this optimism. You need to want to do it. You need to be hopeful about it. You need to have trust that it'll work. And the trust obviously ultimately is in Allah, because He's the one that's given us the ability. But a person has this. It's alive within him. And if it's alive in your environment, then you'll feel it's alive. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I'll end with this. I've seen 2 types of office rooms where I had to get work done. One type of office, I'm not going to say which country it is, although maybe you'll be able to guess by the end. One type of office, the people over there, when you go in, first of all, they're not there. You're like, I've got work with this guy, he's going to drink chai. 5 minutes later, 7 minutes later, he comes with his chai like this, and I see, he comes back. He sits down and he pulls out his phone like this, and you're like waiting, you have work, like sign this paper. 1 second, hello. 5 minutes, 7 minutes later, what's your work? This is with that guy, why are you coming to me? Now that guy is going to drink his chai. Literally, I've seen these kind of things. And another office, before you come to the person, the guy is like, Salam alaikum, where's your work? Who do you want to speak to? Why? Environment. Literally, I've seen it. You know why? Because this had a group of, this really interesting social experiment. There's a group of 3 here that were good, okay? 3 people, right? 3 people here sitting. After some time, one of them moved to another office. And the second moved to another office, and 2 new people came, but this office stayed the same. Because the vibes were there. And that person that went to another office, I can't remember to be honest, but I would assume if he went to a weaker place, he would have also lost his vibes. So it's important. These are practical tips. I tried to make the points that we're mentioning practical and not just things that we know and okay. Something that gets us moving, inshallah. Myself first and all of us, if we don't have a schedule, make a schedule, get it checked, make it realistic, make it flexible, monitor after some time, be around people, don't be lazy. These are practical things that if we do fix, inshallah, our bag of rice will also be a nice, clean, tasty, good quality. What else? Nice rice. Okay, please recite a salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. If there's any questions, we have a few minutes for that.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, we can ask now.
living in a big family and a joint family, everyone's routines are very different. And so, for example, if my routine is that I wake up early in the morning, that's when I start my day, I'm working, I'm studying, and my lunch is also early in the day, about around 1:30. But then the rest of the family, they're having lunch later, and they wake up later, for example, they start their day later. And then when I have time finally to spend with family, they're busy working. And so, our routines clash a lot. So then how are you supposed to go around that? You're expected to spend time, but now I want to spend time with you, but right now I'm extremely tired. It's 10 at night, and I'm really tired because I've woken up so early.
Yeah.
So what would you say about that?
So it's a really good question. I'll just repeat it quickly. If you're in a big family, okay, you set a certain schedule, and your schedule has to match at certain points with different people in the family, right? I set my socializing for 7 a.m., but nobody's awake. Who am I going to socialize with? The mirror. You have to set times that match, right? But what happens is the times I set don't match their times, and their times are inconvenient for me. The answer to this is we have to play a compromising act, right? Timetable, if your timetable was like this, wake up at 7, go to work at 8, come back from work at 5, have your dinner, whatever. If it's all clear, then it's easy. Then it doesn't take skill. Timetabling shows itself at such times. That's how to plan this. On one side, I should be slightly flexible. On the other side, I shouldn't miss out. So this means, for example, I have to try and catch the times that they are good at. For example, let's say their socializing time is only 10 to 11. There's no other time, and it's not compromisable. Fine, okay, no problem. Sleep an hour later. 11 o'clock isn't too late to sleep. We can manage that. Obviously, a person has to see their next day. I can't speak because I don't know the exact condition, but try and sort that out. And after some time, suggest another time to them. After some time, suggest another time. See if it's working out. It's an act of compromise. It can't be, if you want to look at, if we try and look at like a robotic timetable against a robotic timetable, it won't match. And then there's clashes, and then there's issues. We have to compromise. We have to compromise. How, for example, in Mahi Ramadan, often we sleep late right now. What's the time? Here it's 10 past, right? 8 past 11, right? We did the compromise. Why? Because inshallah, the session was supposed to be useful, right? Whether it was or no, you guys can see. Right? We did this compromise because it's an important thing. Over there as well, we can make compromises. When a person has children, they have to make a lot of compromises. It's like the child is woken up at 1 a.m. screaming and crying, go back to sleep, not time to cry just now. Crying time is strictly after 9 a.m. It doesn't work like that, right? The child is woken up, is crying, you can't do anything about it. Stomach is hurting, sorry, like a 4-year-old child. Sorry, not stomach hurting time just now. Go to sleep. Stomach hurting time, there's no such thing in the schedule as stomach hurting time. Right? These things happen. We have to learn to compromise. The skill is trying to join everything together. What we have to do, the best way to do that is to jot down a schedule that's realistic. So spot these places. For example, let's say the study time that I have, okay, for example, at 1 p.m. I've seen that everyone has their lunch and everyone goes to rest. That's my point to hit. But for example, my husband comes back from work at 1 p.m. What do? Ask my husband, can he come back at 2 p.m.? We can play these things around, but make sure that the compartments that we have don't get affected. And if it's really out of control, then you have to speak to the different people and tell them, for example, look, this isn't working, and come to some sort of compromise.
Asant. I think we'll have to end the session here. There's one more question. Maybe we can address this and then.
How can we set a timetable if we have a lot of interruptions that we can't avoid? Very good. So this is a question. I don't know who's asking this exactly, but a mother would have such a question, right? A mother can't set their schedule. Like I said, you can't tell baby not crying time, not time for whatever change or anything like that, right? It doesn't work like that. The baby does what they want. These kind of people, what they need to do is they need to time their schedule similar to a working person, in the sense that a certain number of hours, a person can't set a very scheduled program. You have to have a fluid program where you can move things around. You can replace things with each other. But we can put time for certain very important things. For example, reading Quran, put 10 minutes. 10 minutes. If the child needs your attention at that time, depending on age, a lot of the time it can be said, okay, 10 minutes, I'm just coming in 10 minutes. Obviously, if it's an infant, things are different. Timetabling, the nature of it is that it's specific to each person. So to answer these kind of questions in a very general form is tough, because ages, family, husbands working, all of these play a big role. That's why it's tough to say that. But the general answer is to keep it slightly fluid. not to have too much expectation. You see, I'm just home the whole day, so I should be doing loads. But you have a child, you can't expect to do that. Having a child and bringing up a child, it itself is one of the most important occupations that a human has, according to the Quran and Hadith at least. I hope that answers it.
Inshallah, please recite a loud salawat for Sheikh.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
I'd like to thank you again, Sheikh, and inshallah we'll see you on Tuesday at the same time, 10 to 11, and we'll have the next session of this course. I would like to also remind you that the next course, so you can also sign up now for the next course, which will be by Sheikh Kazim on Zoom, and it's a very important topic. It's addressing whether we should hang on to our Khoja heritage, and it's a question I've asked myself, and I think many others have also asked themselves, because as the day and age changes, we are losing our culture, so to speak. So this will answer a lot of questions, inshallah. Thank you very much, Sheikh. I think we'll end the session here. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.